So obviously, both of you are actors. Hello, and you've been a part of several projects at this point in your career. So this is such a unique story. To me, I feel like this is such a unique project that's filled with emotions. Talk to me about peeling back the layers of the emotions, stepping into the shoes as obviously Stan and Pat, starting with you, Michael.
Yeah, so I mean, always every film brings its own set of responsibilities and demands, but a film like this is it's not necessarily especially more important, but I just understand the scope and the stakes of what we're really trying to do here, which is along with telling a beautiful story, we're trying to, raise awareness and spark conversation about something that's probably mostly underrepresented in the healthcare community. So there's a lot of emotions involved in that. We know how much this story means to the people who are affected by BRCA and issues similar to it. So there's this impetus to make sure we get it right, and for me, I want to make sure I honor being the husband in this story. I want to make sure I honor that role. Like, what's it like for the people who experience the ripple effects and not just those who are immediately affected by
And
BRCA?
what about yourself, Raymond? What did it take for you to really, step into the emotional element of your character's role?
Well, 1% of males suffer from breast cancer, and this is not widely known. And I had a personal connection with this because my own sister, she developed stage 4 lung cancer. And from the time of her diagnosis till when she passed away, it was a 6-month journey. And
Sorry
for
to
that,
hear that.
so in that respect, it made me really want to be a part of the film and to be a part of the telling of this story, this journey of this woman who's doing preventative measures to try to protect herself from the onslaught of cancer, the fact that she's susceptible to 10 times, the chance of developing cancers. So I just wanted to be a part of telling the story. And the casting director, Ani, she was the one that was responsible for making me aware of this. I mean, I really had like no awareness as to like that men actually suffered from breast cancer and doing the research and figuring it out. And then, then trying to deliver an honest performance for the film and to support the story because cancer is terrible. How long have we been living with so many different types of cancer and there's no cure? If a cancer metastasizes inside your body, it'll spread, and then you're basically just a ticking time bomb. It's only like my sister only survived for 6 months, and then towards the end, you're praying for them to pass away because it's an awful experience.
Yeah, I've heard that from several people in my life that you just, it's so difficult and hard to see them like push through the suffering, and you're just like, just
Right.
you
My
just
sister
don't want
was
to
like the most. She was like the most vibrant, life of the party, loud, funny, and it just sucked the life out of her. There was basically, you were praying for her to pass away because you just saw the suffering.
Yeah, yeah,
But
I'm sorry to hear that. I
but
really am.
but
Mike,
that's what brought me to the film, and and engage my performance was
yeah.
personal experience with it.
Wow, wow. Michael, Pat was I was obsessed with Pat. I mean, so supportive. Whatever corner it was, Danielle came around, whatever it was that she put out there, that she, opened up and was raw and authentic with her husband about, Pat showed up.
Mm.
He was there. And how much, I don't want to say like how much fun did you have with the character because it's such an emotional story, but also like a lot of light and beauty in it as well. But what was your experience and journey like taking on the role as Pat? Maybe
Well,
that's a
first,
better way to
yeah,
ask.
I mean, first of all, we had such a lovely cast that always immediately makes acting's always fun. It's just there's definitely some heavy material we have to deal with sometimes. Now, in terms of Pat, I mean, we have our comedic elements with Devin. Both she and I come from a comedy background. We wanted to make sure that we kept this a lighthearted story despite the subject matter. And the thing with Pat was he's just trying to do the right thing. He he's losing some of his dreams as well. And it's very heavy, and he doesn't want to speak to that because he just feels like it's not his place. And on top of that, he's surrounded by females.
Yeah.
So it's just, he's surrounded by this female energy. He's trying to take care of not only the wife, but the sister and the mother-in-law, and trying to protect all the family dynamic, trying to be a man, trying to be a leader, while at the same time kind of dying inside,
Yes.
watching his dreams dissipate as well. So it was that interesting juxtaposition of, it's a fun, lighthearted story. We have our comedic elements, but at the same time, there's a lot of heaviness and there's a lot of sadness. But I think that's where a lot of the comedy comes out, and that's really what makes comedy pop when it is kind of brushed up against the really serious parts of life.
And my next question, Raymond, with you, like, were they obviously the entire movie was a highlight, in more ways than one. Do you have any special moments, any special scenes, any special scripts that just really carries you and that you feel like you will, obviously you're going to carry this project on for the rest of your life, but any special moments that stand out more so than others for you, Raymond?
Well, I think the special moment was that this was a true story. You
Yeah.
know, that you're dealing with something that is very real. A lot of times when you're acting and you're dealing with scenes, everything is fantasy or fictional. And this was nonfiction. It was very real, and we're dealing with a serious issue. So, I'm only in one scene in the movie. Basically, I have this comedic moment with Devin, and you know, and we're taking a lighthearted approach to this character's awareness that he happens to have this developing disease, and he's unsure of it, which a lot of people would be. So just being on set, it was a very great set. Everybody was so respectful, and everybody was on board with the message that we were trying to deliver in the film, and it was fun just working with her in the scene. And because you're dealing with a serious subject matter, and you're trying to find some lightheartedness in it, because it's very depressing. I mean, it's very much like real life,
Yeah.
when you're trying to find some way to navigate around this serious issue.
Yeah.
Just
And
being on
before,
set and working with all the ladies, and it was mostly a female crew, so that was interesting to me. And
yeah.
it was a good memory. It was a great experience, like, and just to be a part of this small film that's got a lot of momentum behind it.
Yeah. And before I let the both of you go, like moving forward, how do you feel like this particular project will continue to shape the trajectory of your career just in general? Like, do you feel like there's going to be like a huge change as to like what other type of projects you say yes or no to? Like, where do you see things going, or what are your hopes
Well, I
moving?
don't think it will have any kind of impact on what you do with your career. Your career is your career. You get different projects. You want to do different things, but just to have this little piece as a part of your total picture is great, because it's very representative of like the work you do, and it's very different. And it's a really good story. And when we were at the film festival in Indiana, people just loved the film, and it was great to see that reaction from an audience and to be a part.
Yeah, I would second that as well. That it's, a career it's a long journey, and it's not necessarily going to shape what happens next. But what it has done is renewed my conviction in that I love telling these types of stories. I always believe that acting it's a servant occupation. We're here to serve the audience, and stories like this is a reminder of how much of an impact we can have and how we can really reach audiences in these profound ways.
Oh, thank you both so much, Raymond and Michael. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats
Yeah.
for the film.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.